Well, after countless more emails from people after I said specifically not to email me about installing a different OS other than Windows Vista on this Toshiba Satellite L300D-040. You know, I gave up. No, I was not about to do Linux because I really don't like Linux. That's another discussion for another day. I'm not really looking into getting into why I don't like Linux in this video. But it'll come, don't worry. Eventually. Since my clients are only now beginning to upgrade to Windows 7, yes, after all these years of being the last version or the version after that or whatever version of Windows, they're only now beginning to buy new computers or buying upgrades to Windows 7, so I figured, oh, what the hell, I'll upgrade myself to Windows 7 as well. So I got myself a copy of Windows 7 Professional 32-bit and stuffed it on this Toshiba. Now let's take a look at how it runs. Now before I say anything about it, this was not cupcakes and sunshine. It was not a clean-cut install, and I will tell you why. Number one, I was going to do the upgrade initially. I was going to upgrade from Windows Vista to Windows 7. And unfortunately, due to whatever stupid reason Microsoft has, I can't upgrade from Windows Vista Home Premium 32-bit to Windows 7 Professional 32-bit. Don't know how that happened. I don't know how that works, but it apparently does. So I had to install from scratch, but I did back up my program, so that's not a big deal. I installed all the Toshiba stuff you'd expect to see in a Toshiba computer. And that's it for that. Number two, this definitely is not the fastest machine you've ever seen in the world. Certainly not the slowest machine I've ever seen before, but it's definitely not the fastest either. It is really slow to start up, but again, startup time for Windows is really slow anyways. But anyway, I digress. The machine itself works next to perfect, but there is no documentation on this particular model online anywhere. No, I wasn't able to find it anywhere. Other than the user guide that came with the computer, the online user guide, it's not even a hard-coded user guide because I pulled this machine, I got this one off the shelf. This was the last one that they had at the place before when I bought it, but anyways. So here it is booting up. Didn't expect to see that, did you? And this is what I mean, it's rather slow. I mean, look at that. It's almost taken 3 minutes to boot the damn thing up. Yes, I have Netscape installed. Get over it. Wah. I love that. And apparently my audio isn't working. Total BS, especially since my audio has been working. But, once you start getting running programs and everything, it really slows down the machine. But as well as not being able to find documentation, I found no drivers available at all. No Windows Vista, no Windows XP, no Windows 7 drivers. I don't even think there were Windows 7 drivers released for this machine. So the, whatever chipset this has, I believe it actually has an ATI chipset. There are no drivers for that available. And the ATI Radeon 3100 graphics chipset, there are no drivers for that either. Now, luckily for me, after I ran Windows Update, and this is also the case with a couple other computers, I know it works with the compact Presario V6000. There are videos on YouTube of that. But, again, once I ran Windows Update, all the drivers I needed were installed. I think I had about 15 yellow flags and brought that all the way down to 1, because it kept complaining because it didn't have an antivirus program installed. Quickly dealt with that. Oh, I wanted the mobility center. Now, yeah, the brightness isn't all the way up. But look at this. I have 88% of that battery available. It's only 37 minutes. I need to get this battery rebuilt already. Oh well. Let's take a look at the system properties. Windows 7 Professional, Service Pack 1. Oh my god. How many times have I seen this? Anyways, 1.75 gigabytes of RAM, 2 gigahertz processor, 32-bit operating system. Anyways, so I'll have to refresh that later. And I will need to activate Windows. Wah, wah, wah. Anyways. And continuing on, I am really impressed with the way this machine works. I mean, it's really not as bad as I thought it would. Now, I don't like this new taskbar. As I've mentioned before. I mean, it just looks butchered. So, like I was saying... Stop that! Properties, always combine, hide labels, never combine. Let's see what that does. That was completely freaking useless. Oh, there it goes. I'll just do always combine because, you know, I don't care. I'll leave it this way. I mean, it looks like Windows 7 that way. So, I wonder if I have any more updates. I'll check that while I'm at it. Today at 9 o'clock, check for updates. Probably nothing, you know. Let me take a look at Paint. Well, let us take a look at Paint here. And show you another thing I don't like about the new versions of Windows. I really don't like this new ribbon. This new interface right here. I mean, yeah, sure, that was perfect for Microsoft Office, where there are bazillions of different options. But for a simple program like Paint, no thanks. It's really not that useful. Even though there are... I mean, I like these. I mean, I like having the new options here. Don't get me wrong. And I like having all that new stuff, but I don't like the way they've organized it. And I can say the same, I think it was WordPad was the same one. Yeah, it was WordPad as well. I mean, take a look at this. This is absolutely useless for this kind of program. Then again, I'm not Microsoft, so I have no idea what they were thinking when they were doing that, but... whatever. I do have an antivirus installed, so hopefully it doesn't complain about anything else. What's this? Oh, that's Live Essentials. That's what I have, yeah. That's what I have installed. This cheap-ass program called Microsoft Security Essentials. Don't know how well it works, probably doesn't work at all, but... it's exactly like the Windows Defender. And it's nice because it actually was installed automatically. Installing these stupid .NET framework crap. I don't really use .NET framework anyways. You know what? Forget that. I'm not even going to install that. Review important updates. Just hide them. Hide updates. Like that. No available updates. I can close that now, so I'll just have to wait for this to scan. And, well, overall, I have to say I'm pretty pleased with Windows 7. Minus the activation, because, you know, I hate activation. I've hated it since day one. And then again, Windows Vista on this machine came pre-activated, so I didn't have anything to deal with that, but I've had to deal with Vista activation so many times, it's just flat out annoying. Quite frank... what's the right word here? Forgive me, I'm half asleep. Thankfully, I haven't had to deal with Windows XP activation, because I've heard that's even worse. Oh well. So, thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. Till then.